Welcome to the Residence Messenger program on Taipei Broadcasting Station with your host, Ross Darrell Feingold. Today we are joined by Stephanie Su, a senior program manager at the Taipei Film Festival, recently completed, took place between mid-June and early July here in Taipei. Stephanie, welcome to the program.
Hello, Ross.
We're so happy to have you to tell us about the world of film and the very successful recent Taipei Film Festival, which was the 22nd, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Wow, that's really impressive that the festival has gone on so many years, has become so big. But before we get into the details about this year's film festival, Stephanie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from Taipei?
I was actually born in Houston, and then I moved back to Taiwan when I was 6 years old with my family.
And when you were a child, did you really want to be in the movie industry?
As far as I can remember, I was just a kid that very passionate about all kinds of art stuff, like museums, like movies, music, and anytime I get a chance to immerse myself into these kind of things, I will delve into it right away.
Well, it's really interesting to hear you say that because as a foreigner, I'm a foreigner, you may have noticed, we're always told that people in Asia and Taiwan, they're into math and science and their parents want them to be in math and science. But actually, Taiwan's creative industries, whether it's music or film or design, is actually quite large and has a lot of talented people. So when you were growing up and you had an interest in this, did people around you encourage you, your family, your teachers, were they encouraging, or did they say, no, you better study science?
My parents were kind of open-minded compared to other Taiwanese parents, because I know a lot of my friends, my classmates, they always they're always complaining that their parents, they told them that they should get a job
get a real job,
preferably in the civic sector, or a stable job that will do, and get married soon. Yeah, so I was kind of lucky that my parents are really supportive, whatever I'm doing and what I want to do. Yeah.
And you spent a number of years studying back in the United States. You went back into the U.S. Tell us a little bit about your experience studying overseas.
Yeah. So my major was history in college, and then I switched to graphic communications management and technology.
Now, for those unfamiliar, what exactly is graphic communications?
Yeah, I studied. I went to NYU for my graduate study, and the department went through kind of a shiftings period, because they focused on publishing in the past, but since we are in a digital era right now, so they started to add in more digital or multimedia content into the department. So we not only have to get familiar with paper publishing, but also advertising or marketing, online marketing, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But when people say to you, oh, so you know how to design websites, you say, no, that's not what I do, right?
No, I don't know how to design a website, but if I get a chance to learn it, I will. Yeah.
Now, can these things be studied in Taiwan, or is it still important that people go overseas to study the things like graphic communications and what you learned when you were at NYU?
I think the crucial part is where you want to get a job and start your career. If you want to, for example, get into the industry in New York, for example, I think it's really recommended that you find a school you like over there and meet a lot of people as you can in order to get into the industry. But I think there are a lot of great schools in Taiwan as well. So it really depends on what you want to do, for a future and as a career,
And you stayed in New York for a few years. after school
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
What were you doing there?
I've done a couple intern jobs. One is at a boutique film distribution company that specializes in like documentary distribution.
Wow, so you got a chance to combine like your experience with history and graphic
Yeah.
communications.
It's kind of like my dream job. Although it's like a very small company, I met really great people over there, and I learned a lot about distribution in the US, but because I know it's like quite different compared to Taiwan. And I also went to kind of like a marketing PR company that is into like nonprofit organizations.
Which probably was good for working for a film festival as
Yeah.
well. As you then you came back to Taiwan and you got a job with the film festival.
Yeah, I started as a hospitality volunteer first, actually.
You know, so you got to break into these things by doing the hard work, like being a hospitality volunteer.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I was really enjoyed doing hospitality volunteer because I get the chance to accompany a lot of foreign filmmakers and show them around the city and get to chat with them. So I really enjoyed the work, and after that, there were some job openings at Taipei Film Festival, also Golden Horse Film Festival, and so that I started to work like freelance between these two film festivals.
And hopefully, as we were talking about before, your friends, your family, they said that's a great idea. They didn't still say to you at this point, get a real job.
Right now, I think probably my dad was, although maybe he's a bit worried, but he didn't show. So he was always like very supportive on the outside. But he was probably kind of worried.
Yeah, well, hopefully he's happy now that you have a more senior executive position in the film festival. Now, you mentioned some of the other film festivals, whether it's Golden Horse, and there are other film festivals around Asia. Help our listeners understand a little bit about I'll call it the universe of film festivals in Taiwan as well as in other parts of Asia. Right, there's film festivals in China and Hong Kong. Busan is a very well known as well. Take us through this. What's the difference? You know, for someone who doesn't know much about the film industry, tell us about these film festivals.
Well, so do you want to focus on Mandarin speaking?
Well, tell us about them more generally. I mean, what makes them different? What makes them special?
So there are like we say like the three most prestigious film festivals are the Cannes and the Venice and the Berlin Film Festival. These three are like the go back in the history, and also the three biggest film festivals I think on the planet. Yeah. So other than these three film festivals, there are like really many film festivals all around the world. So I always say that if you want to just randomly travel around the world, you can always, like at any time, join a film festival. Yeah. So so we pull back to the Asia territory, like Busan in Korea. It's the biggest film festival in Asia. So they invite a lot of foreign guests over every year, and their film festival dates are in August. And they always, probably because they have a lot of budget, I think this is like a crucial point. Yeah, they could screen more films and invite more foreign guests. So we always go to that one every year to see as lot of films for our own program. And other than Busan Film Festival, there are also a lot of Mandarin-speaking film festivals. For example, Pingyao in China, which is started by the famous Chinese director Jia Zhangke. So they are trying to build up a very independent and open-minded film festival.
As open-minded as you could get in China,
Yes,
I suppose. You have
yes,
limits.
that's right. Yeah. So other than that, there are a lot of very alive, as I can say, film festivals. Like for example, Singapore Film Festival. They also focus on Southeastern Asia films, and there are also a lot of film festivals in Taiwan as well, like Women Make Wave, about focusing on female directors, and also Queer Film Festival, Kaohsiung Film Festival.
Now, is the purpose of most of these film festivals, such as the bigger ones like Cannes or Venice, is the purpose just to showcase newly made films and to pick up a distributor in different countries? Is that really why these events are held? It's really for the industry people?
Yeah. They I think they are the most these three film festivals kind of are the most important platform that filmmakers they want to expose or present their works to the whole world, because once they have their works exposed and introduced to the audience, then they could move to other smaller film festivals, or even find different local distributions in many other countries. So and also whether Cannes or Berlin, they have film market as well. So a lot of cinema deals happen during these film festivals. So it's really important for filmmakers to get their work be introduced at these platforms.
And you mentioned here in Asia that there are several film festivals specifically for the Chinese-speaking world, so whether it's Mandarin, Cantonese, Taiwanese. What's the difference between those festivals? Why does Taipei need a Mandarin festival when there's a Mandarin festival in China, or a Hong Kong Film Festival will screen movies in Mandarin and Cantonese as well? There's the Golden Horse, which people think of as a festival, but it's really more an awards. Tell us about for the Chinese-speaking world. What's the universe of film festivals?
So if you want to pinpoint Taipei Film Festival to the world map of film festivals, our characteristics are we show a lot of Taiwanese films, and they're mostly world premieres, so they have been introduced the first time to the world. And we have two main competitions. One is Taipei Film Awards that especially focus on local productions, and we also have another competition that is International New Talent Competition, which we will select first or second feature films from the directors. And I think these two competitions could see that we are really we focus on new directors and also Taiwanese productions. So, and we are a very audience friendly film festival. So we want to introduce all these kind of amazing films to the audience, and we think we are a great platform, whether for the audience or filmmakers from the industry.
Now, what makes a movie a Taiwanese movie? Is there some kind of standard about in terms of where the filming is done, where the post-production's done, or how many actors or actresses are from Taiwan.
Yeah.
How do you measure this?
Yeah.
Because sometimes for other film festivals, this has become controversial. They're not sure, is it a China
Mhm.
production or a Hong Kong production or a Taiwan production?
Yeah, we have a list of regulations, and you have to like be qualified for like at least like checking like
They check the boxes, we
check the
say in
boxes.
English.
Yeah, like for example, you have to hold like a Taiwanese passport or like a ID, or like I think like over half of the cast and crew has to be like Taiwanese, or whether your story was shot in Taiwan. But yeah, as long as you are qualified for these regulations, you could like submit your film to the competition.
Okay, so unlike other film festivals in the Mandarin speaking world, this one truly is focused on films made in Taiwan.
Yeah.
As well as in Taiwanese dialect. You also have Taiwanese dialect movies.
We have a lot of films that are like a mixture, maybe like even in like Hakka.
Well, of course, I don't speak Taiwanese or Hakka, so I would need the subtitles in Chinese language. Do you have to subtitles the movies that are in Taiwanese and Hakka too?
Oh yeah. We have
subtitle them in Chinese characters. I mean,
we have most of the film. We have English and Mandarin subtitles.
And you do all that work yourself because you speak both languages.
We have a team, like a very, very professional team, and also we work with a lot of translators to do those subtitles.
So the festival is certainly accessible to people who do not speak or read Mandarin because there is English subtitles for all the movies. Well, we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll talk more about the 2020 Taipei Film Festival with our guest, Stephanie Su from the Taipei Film Festival. You're listening to Residence Messenger with Ross Feingold on Taipei Broadcasting Station. Welcome back to Residence Messenger. I'm your host, Ross Darrell Feingold. Today, our guest is Stephanie Su from the recently completed 2020 Taipei Film Festival, which was a big success. And before we talk about some of the specific movies and what made the film festival such a success, Stephanie, we're all worried about the virus. Fortunately, here in Taiwan, the situation was not as bad as other countries around the world. Did that change anything you did at the film festival this year, though? Were any of the procedures different?
Yeah. Actually, we went through a very like bumpy preparation phase because we were not sure whether we could have like a live film festival.
You mean with an audience?
Yeah, at the first place, because we didn't put online film festival as our option. So whether we do a live event or we cancel the whole thing. So we actually decided to really go all the way through until mid-May, I think. Yeah, before that we were all like very worried every day that whether we should keep going on with our schedule or not. But we are very lucky that we could complete all these things and present these wonderful films to the audience.
So eventually the festival was carried out as normal.
Yes.
Although did people have to wear masks when they were in the theater?
Yes. We ask the audience to wear face masks during the whole screenings, and also we provide hand
sanitizers.
Yeah, hand sanitizers. Also, we take their temperatures before they enter the theaters.
But Stephanie, one of the great thrills of going to the movie is eating popcorn and other goodies while you're watching a movie. So how can you have a face mask on and eat popcorn?
We actually follow the rules released by the government, and they said eating in theaters is okay. So we didn't like ban people from like eating during the screening. So if they want to like take a sip of the drinks or eat a snack. Yeah, we it's really free. Yeah.
Okay, you aren't the movie police
Yeah.
inside the theater.
Yeah.
But attendance was fairly normal compared to past years? People were comfortable going, they didn't stay away.
Yeah, there were like some minor because every people their perception on this kind of things are really different. So we try to like make everyone happy as the best we can, but there were still like some like small complaints about our
Well, somebody says the person's
preventions.
sitting too close to me or coughing at me.
They were like they were like the police themselves. They say, oh, that person didn't wear the face mask, or they were like trying to make us like they were like alerting us to like be more aware of all the people's if they're like really following the rules. Yeah.
Well, I guess when you have a lot of people coming to an event, there's always going to be some customers who are hard to keep happy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So tell us about some of the entries in the film festival this year. Some of the movies that you liked personally, or some that were popular with the film festival attendees.
There was one film called The Planters. It was made by two female directors, and it's a U.S. film. Yeah, it was really independently made because they shot the film and they act in the film all by themselves. They even did the editing and the cinematography all by themselves, and you can see that it's kind of like a lower budget film, but it was really like the story was really fascinating, and it actually didn't went to a lot of like the big titles, the like Cannes or Venice, something like that. But that film caught my attention during, I forgot, maybe the AFM period, the American Film Market period, and I request for a screener. And I saw the film and I really liked it, and it was like a huge success during the film festival because on the first day of the ticket selling, I think two of the screenings, two out of three screenings were like sold out on the first day. So, and yeah, it was really well received after the film festival.
Okay, we don't want to give away any of the plot in case people in the
Yeah,
audience are
yeah.
going to watch it. Other types of other specific movies that were popular.
Yeah, there as I mentioned earlier, we have a competition that focus on new directors, and there were one Taiwanese film called Leaving Virginia.
And the Chinese name is
破处. Yeah. So it means like they want to lose their virginity, like two young boys, they want to lose their virginity, and it's kind of like a mix of American Pie and Transpotting. Yeah, so it's very it's like a sex comedy, and I think for a long time Taiwanese hasn't made this kind of film for a long time, and it's now showing in theaters actually. So if you are interested, you could go to see just buy a ticket and see the film. Yeah.
Was there a specific genre that was popular this year compared to say past years, or is that based on changing audience interests, or it's just because a lot of filmmakers happen to make a specific genre this year? But was there a specific genre that there were more movies or was more popular this year?
Taipei, the audience of Taipei Film Festival, they usually like documentaries, especially Taiwanese documentaries. So there were a couple of Taiwanese documentaries that were on our like top 20 chart list for a couple days, and they tend to like more like lighter films this year.
But this is a year, if I may say, a political year here in Taiwan. Right? There was an
Yeah.
election. People don't like China. Protests in Hong Kong. People are really into these kinds of issues. Did that factor into the genre at all of the movies that were popular? Did people want to see identity movies, political movies, or when they get to the theater, they just want to have fun?
We have we screen like a more like a black comedy, like it's really sarcastic about the Canadian president, and it was shot in like a very uh, sarcastic way, and it was quite popular during the film festival.
But what about movies about China, Hong Kong, Taiwan?
Yeah, there were not so many, especially like focused on these kind of topics, but um, there were one documentary that is Feels Good Man. It's
Mm.
about I don't know if you know a frog called Pep the Frog.
Pepe the Frog was
Yeah.
very popular in the
Yeah.
Hong Kong protests
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a symbol.
Yeah, we show that documentary about the whole evolution of when it's when the Pet the Frog um, was created, and then it was like his image was like turned.
Well, it became popular with the far right in America.
Yeah, that's right. So this might like relate to the topics you just mentioned.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you've worked for the film festival for a number of years, and you've traveled around the world on behalf of the Taipei Film Festival to see what's going on at other film festivals. What are some of the big challenges for Taiwan filmmakers, writers, script writers, actors and actresses? What are the challenges they face in the coming years, whether here in the domestic market or building the brand to make it bigger around the world?
Yeah, so many Taiwanese filmmakers, they are delving into the genre filmmaking sector, but they also want to create like very original stories, like close to their like maybe their own stories, but
Things from their childhood, for example.
yeah, but they have to choose between the box office or the accolades from like international film festivals. So they are like in between these like in these transitions phase, and they also have to worried about the profit of making a film, because I think 9 out of 10 Taiwanese films are not like making money. So they really have to face these kind of problems. And they are competing with a lot of other foreign filmmakers on to write a very appealing story. Yeah. Mhm.
So, how do you stop the talent from leaving Taiwan and just going to Hollywood and joining the big industry? Like that famous director from Taiwan, Mr. Mr. Leon, who went off to Hollywood and made Hollywood
Yeah.
movies. He's a great success,
Yeah.
but he's not making movies about Taiwan
Yeah.
anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a really big question. Yeah. I think a lot of great like Taiwanese directors, they are also picking up stories from Taiwan itself. Also, they are uh, thinking more about the situation, whether like metaphorically or directly about like Taiwanese like political situation between like China or like the other countries, and um, whether it's like a very personal story, they all show very like original ideas. So I really appreciate these kind of like storytelling, like that comes from Taiwan itself.
Now, speaking of stories, Stephanie, you don't have to name any names, but tell us some inside stories from the film festival. Anything funny ever happened? One of those directors or actors, they ask for, they want to be treated like really special when they get to the festival. They want a special drink, or they want the temperature of the room. Those celebrities, they have some strange demands. Tell us a funny story.
Yeah, for this year, they were all like very friendly. Yeah, I'm not saying it because I'm on the show, but they were actually really friendly this year. But in the past editions, I did met some filmmakers that are very like bossy and very cheap. Yeah, like stingy. Yeah, because yeah, so it happens because we met a lot of like all kinds of directors, filmmakers during the film festival. So I think it happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're almost out of time. So for people who were unable to see the film festival, or they want to see some of the movies again, where could they go for more information?
We have a list that is released on our website.
The address is
www.taipeff.taipei. Yeah, so you could find more information on the locally released films. A lot of films are in theaters right now, or they will be released pretty soon.
And there's a wonderful catalog. Yes. As well. People can still buy the catalog?
Through our office. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Which is located where?
It's at Luopiliao in close to Longshan Temple.
Okay. And it's a beautiful catalog. It has information about all the movies, mostly in the catalog's in Mandarin.
Oh, we also have English.
It's an English version as well. It has this wonderful hologram on the front that depending on the temperature, it heats up, and then you could see this wonderful hologram of something very abstract.
Yes.
You have to see it to really understand it.
Yeah.
And then it turns dark when the temperature is cooler.
Yeah.
So if you were unable to see the festival, or you really like some of the movies and you want to see them again, check out the film festival's website, and you can see some of these movies in theaters for the next few months here in Taiwan. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us on Residence Messenger. One more thing before we go. What could you tell us about next year's film festival?
Next year,
give us a little bit of a preview. Movies are all about the previews.
There are also going to be very a lot of fascinating movies, of course, but also really fun live events during the film festival.
Okay, you heard it here first. Yeah. Live events at the 2021 Taipei Film Festival. You've been listening to Residence Messenger on Taipei Broadcasting Station. Have a good weekend.